This past Wednesday was Flag Day, the day set aside to honor our national symbol. Faith Salie remembers a day not so long ago when a photo of our flag carried a very different message.
By the spring of 1976, the city of Boston had become a kind of war zone. The court-ordered busing designed to desegregate Boston public schools had been going on for 2 years, and nobody was happy about it.
They may say this is helping, it's tearing them apart.
For newspaper photographer Stanley Forman, April 5th started out like many other days.
I went to a demonstration every day. We were always there in front of Southie High, Charlestown High.
On this day, the anti-busing demonstration was to be on the plaza of Boston City Hall.
This is the place?
This is it.
When Forman arrived at City Hall, a group of white high schoolers had already gathered.
I looked down the plaza and I saw a black man taking the turn, and it dawned on me they're going to get him.
The black man was Ted Landsmark, now a distinguished professor of public policy and urban affairs at Northeastern University. In 1976, he was a young lawyer and community advocate on his way to a meeting in City Hall.
I could hear their chants, the kind of chant that you would expect: stop forced busing, we want our neighborhoods back. And then one of the young men shouted out, "There's an N-word, get him."
I'm shooting wild, and I'm watching this unfold.
The first young person to attack me hit me on my face, and that broke my nose and knocked off my glasses.
And then he's pushed, and he's rolling over, and he's kicked. I mean, he was being pummeled.
And as I was regaining my balance, one of the young men who was carrying an American flag circled back to swing the American flag at me, and that's when the famous photograph was taken. The flag itself never touched me. If it had, I probably wouldn't be here today.
He was taken to the emergency room at Mass General, where the black doctor asked if he'd like a small bandage or a larger one.
I told him that I'd rather have the larger bandage. I knew the potential impact that a photograph could have.
Stanley Forman's photograph appeared on the front page of the Boston Herald-American and was picked up by news services around the world.
It was racism. I mean, it's an American flag. It was hate. It was hate right in front of you.
That photograph would earn Forman a Pulitzer Prize.
How many times have you walked through here in the past 47 years?
I wouldn't walk through here for about 2 years after the event itself, because it would conjure for me a lot of really negative feelings. But I have since walked through here hundreds of times. And at this point, it's just my way into City Hall.
As for the students who attacked Landsmark that day,
the courts arranged for the young people to be brought into court to apologize to me if I was willing at that time not to press charges against them.
He accepted their apologies.
For me, the ability to address many of the underlying causes of the structural racism that existed in the city at that time was more important than trying to settle a score with 4 young people who'd gotten caught up in a violent moment.
We reached out to Joseph Rakes, the young man holding the flag in 1976. Our interview request was declined.
How do you feel when you look at an American flag?
I feel sorry for people who have misused the flag as a symbol of a kind of patriotism that is often excluding of the many people who have stood up for, fought for, and defended what the flag symbolizes in terms of democratic access to the great resources that this country has. I look at the flag as still a symbol of what we aspire to be.